Hi, everybody. This is Jenny Eden Berk from Just One More Bite with Jenny Berk and Jenny Eden Coaching. And true confession here, I have not gone live or done any live streaming. I mean, aside from a few interviews and whatnot, but definitely not solo in probably since before the pandemic in 2020. Yeah, so I took a little bit of a break. It was for a few years just hard for me to put myself out there and to be perceived in any way. Um, and, I feel like I'm finally at a place where I'm excited to create again and delve into things and like share more of myself and more of what I do. And so I have actually been, for the last few months, been working really hard at upgrading the community that I have associated with this Substack. It's called Just One More Bite with Jenny Berk, the community. And I did have it for about a year, but I was not consistent about posting things. There wasn't enough like stickiness in the community for people to grasp onto something. There wasn't really a roadmap or any sort of organization to it. And so over the last few months, I'm so excited because I have a roadmap, I have a learning library, I have so many opportunities and places where people can connect with one another and have meaningful conversations and support one another with this work. So I'm going to give you a little tour of that today because I'm officially opening the community up, the new and improved and enhanced community up today. And before I do that, I just want to walk you through a pretty quick practice that you can do really at any time. And I wanted to share this practice with you because it's an example of what we're going to be doing in the Just One More Bite community over on Heartbeat. So here, on Substack, I'm going to be doing all the essays and the writing and the things like that. And then over on the other community is where we have all of our discussions and live events and things like that. So one of the things that people tell me most often when they're starting to learn mindful eating or intuitive eating is that it feels so unnatural, right? It feels so difficult, even though it's like, well, all I need to do is eat more slowly. But that for many people is so difficult because, well, there's several reasons for it, but for many people, there just isn't a comfort level with doing it because for so many years, you've been eating on autopilot or you've been eating while driving, multitasking, watching TV, when you're stressed, standing up. Like one of the things my mom always used to say to me when I was a kid was, sit down and eat your food nicely. Like, why are you standing up? And I don't have an answer for that, but we tend to have these rituals and practices and habits around food that are very, very hard to break. And yet we also know, many people know, most people that I work with know that learning mindful eating and savoring your food and slowing down and being present and intentional around your food choices are supportive in so many ways, including with digestion and the way you assimilate nutrients and the way your brain can alert you and let you know better when you eat slowly that you're getting pleasure from the meal, that you're starting to feel the satiety cues. And also in a very subtle way, which kind of becomes more enhanced with practice, can let you know when you've had enough of a certain type of texture or flavor or temperature within a meal. And so for today, and especially for those who feel like if they really struggle with mindful eating and slowing down, but they know it's something that they want to try and do, this practice could work really, really well. And it's called the 3-bite practice. You can do it anytime with any meal, any snack. And it's an invitation to start practicing this without that judgy, background voice being like, well, now you have to do it all the time and you have to do it for the entire meal and you have to be perfect and blah, blah, blah. This is not about perfection. This is about learning to kind of create new pathways, new habitual pathways that can become more, automatic with practice and with time. And this is something I think anybody can do. It takes like 90 seconds. And here's how it works. So next time you have a meal or snack, you're going to, before you do anything else, you're actually just going to sit down and take a minute to take a really deep mindful breath. So you can take that through your nose if you like. And then you can let out all the air through your mouth. If you're somebody who already does this type of breathwork practice, then just continue to do what you do. If this is new to you, you only have to do it once, just for this one meal, just to see what it feels like. And basically what you're doing is alerting your nervous system and your brain that you're safe, that that you're not in a fight or flight response, that you're not in a rush, and that you can actually settle into what you're eating and pay attention to it and to garner the most that you can out of that meal in terms of pleasure, out of, assimilating your nutrients, digestion, and so forth. So after you've taken that 1 or 2 very deep breaths in through your nose, out through your mouth, then you're just going to look at the plate of food in front of you. So it literally can be like, I have this protein bar here today, which I love, by the way. It's a plant-based Aloha bar. You can do it with that. You can do it with a full dinner meal. It doesn't matter. You're just going to look at the plate and you're just going to notice what's on your plate. How did the food get to this plate? Who were the people involved? What do these foods mean to you in terms of, like, has it always been a favorite food for you, or you're craving something warm and comforting, or now that the weather's nice, you're having a smoothie? Just kind of bring a little bit of noticing and energy into the choices that you made about this particular meal. And then you're also going to look at the food presentation. You're going to look at the colors. You're going to look at the textures of the food, and just, witnessing it for a few seconds. After that, all you need to do is take 1 mindful bite. And this isn't to say like you take, 3 mindful bites. It's not to say you take 3 mindful bites and then you're like, okay, I'm done. You certainly can do that, especially if you're just starting this practice. But if you want to take, to keep doing it, by all means, keep doing it. And what it is basically is you're going to take that first bite and you're going to notice as you're chewing the food, like, where do you tend to chew the food? Do you use your left side of your mouth more, or on the right side? What flavor notes can you detect? What textures and temperatures are there as you're eating? And then you're also going to notice the moment that you feel like swallowing the food. And for many of us, it's usually much faster than what we need. And I have seen other, other practices where you should, like, I don't know, like people say like take 20 bites before swallowing. I'm not going to put a number on it, but what I will say is take more bites, chew more than you typically do. Chew more than what is comfortable for you, because that's where the stretch is going to be. That's where some of the learning is going to happen. And some of the things that you may detect is that you realize that it's much easier to go down. You may realize that certain textures or flavor notes come out more, or you may realize that you like the texture at the very first part of it rather than when it's all masticated and like broken down. Again, you're not going to make any judgments about this. You're just going to notice it. And when you're ready to swallow, you will swallow. The second bite, you're going to do the same thing, but this time I want you to smell the food. If it's on your plate, on your fork or spoon, just take a minute to notice the aroma of that smell, of that meal. And you're going to do the same thing. You're just going to savor that bite. You're going to notice how you're eating it, how much you're chewing. And you're also going to start to take note about whether you're enjoying this food or if you're still enjoying it. And if not, what do you actually need? And if you are, how many more bites would you like to have of this? Because a lot of times we do this automatically. We don't think about it, or just because it's in front of us, we think of it as a project, like you got to finish your plate, and when you're done when the plate is empty, right? And what mindful eating invites us to do is to determine intrinsically, not from an external cue, but intrinsically, when to stop eating. And there's this concept called sensory specific satiety, which a lot of us can override if we're eating too quickly. And sensory specific satiety is basically your taste buds will become saturated with a certain flavor or texture or what have you pretty quickly. And if you continue to eat that food, you may experience what we call the law of diminishing returns. Like, it's not quite as exciting as that first bite. It's not as satisfying. You kind of you're like chasing the high almost, like you want to get that first bite energy back. But over time, there needs to be a refractory period. And so what sensory-specific satiety tells us is that, okay, it may be time for another type of flavor or another type of texture. And my computer just stopped. So hold on. Oh, no. Okay, here I am. Sorry about that. You may realize like, oh, I'm actually done with the sweet. I'm really craving something salty now, or I want something savory, or this is too smooth. I really use something crunchy with this. And the more that you practice this, you're going to start to really personalize your meal, because you're going to realize what you need more of and what you've had enough of. And it's not going to be coming from this place of judgment, but from this physiological place and this intuitive place that you get from practice. And this type of thing, this 3-bite mindful meal practice, it really like takes 90 seconds. And again, it's just an entry point for you to practice and to start to become more adept at the principles of slow, mindful eating and learning how to savor your food and to get the most hedonic pleasure out of the eating experience, which we all really deserve. And for many of us, food is this like fraught experience, this place where we're worrying, we're eating too fast, or we're multitasking, as I said before. And this is a lot of the types of practices and resources and tools that we cover in my community, Just One More Bite with Jenny Berk, not the Substack, but the accompanying community platform, which I hope you'll join. And they can be separate, like you can be just a member of the community, you can just do the Substack, you can do both. They're all intertwined. So I'm going to do a quick share screen so you can see what the community looks like. And I'm going to give you just a very quick tour around. I'm also going to leave a link at the bottom, like I guess in the comment section, so that you can create your free account and join us today. So let me share my screen where this works. Okay. Yeah. And I guess you can't see me anymore, but let me see if I do this. Oh, sorry. Let's try that again. Okay, so when you first join, there's an initial introduction feed, which you can put your information in. It's very simple to set up, takes like 1 minute. And then as you navigate the left here, there are going to be several different tabs. The first one is all of the courses. These are self-led courses that I've created over the years. I've put them all up in the courses section. These are not free courses, but for $7, you can purchase any one of them as a one-off course for you to build your learning and dive deeper into some of the concepts that I teach. You don't have to purchase any of these, but these are always available to you should you want to. You also have a resources section, and where it says start here is where you will start. And again, I said in the beginning that when I first launched this platform, I didn't really understand the platform. I didn't know all the capabilities of it, and there wasn't a cohesive sort of roadmap. So now we do have that, and you could do a quick start checklist. There's a new member flow chart, community guidelines, which I want everybody to read so we understand our shared values here on the site. Ways to work with me. There's a full member roadmap, including a welcome video. Ways to work with me one-on-one, should you choose to do that. And then frequently asked questions. As you go through some of these resources, some are for the entire community and some are for the paid tier. For instance, the resource library is for paid subscribers. However, you can purchase a one-time $7 fee and have full access to the resource library, which is going to continue to grow over the months and years. One thing that is available to all of the members, including free members, is this amazing recipe bundle collection. And I even created a special recipe bundle just for our community, which comes as a PDF. You can download the PDF. It comes with shopping lists and nutritional information and best practices and things like that. And as you can see here, I'm going to continue to add to this collection as well, but there are so many different plans that you can access here. We also have Berk Perks. Do you like the rhyming, you guys? I thought that was pretty clever. Anyway, anyone can do Berk Perks. And if you click onto this, it'll explain what they are. Free members get 2 Berk Perks. Paid members get 4 Berk Perks. And then there's a form that you can use to collect them. Basically, they're paid resources that you get for free as a bonus for joining the community. I have a paid member hub over here. For paid members, we have monthly eating buddies, which is going to be super fun. I'd match you up with another member of our community, and you have that member to kind of connect with all month to discuss meal plans, recipes, eating challenges, whatever you want to discuss. It can be online, it can be over email, it can be in person if you want, it can be over Zoom. I'm going to let each of you decide that. And then as well, we have member practices. This is an ongoing live growing document that we continue to add to. So whenever we like the three bite mindful practice, that would be a practice that would be in here with full instructions, things like that. Now, if you go to the gatherings tab, there's information about monthly office hours, quarterly mindful lounges, which are more in-depth workshops with a community aspect as well that I offer 4 times a year. And pretty soon, I'm going to be doing also some live events for the full community, including inviting other experts to come in and do trainings and interview other people. And then lastly, what I want to show you is some of these rooms. These are like our chat rooms, and it starts with just the community chat. Also, there's something called the kitchen table, which is where we talk all about food recipes, eating habits, food memories, whatever you want, anything that is food and cooking and eating related. Like I even put my quirky orange up on the site on that thread, and members are invited to add their own threads, respond to threads, and collaborate with other people within this as well. Every Tuesday, I'm going to be offering a little body wisdom moment in this particular thread. It may have something to do with interoception, with body trust, with satiety cues. It could be anything like that. Announcements are where I share anything that's going on in the community. For instance, I've just opened up a refer a friend opportunity, which is all outlined here. And then any questions that I get from members or that I feel like people need to maybe need to understand better, I will put that in the questions section. And then I also have a fun little voice note Wednesday thread. I didn't realize we could do this, but it's really fun. And let's see if this works. Every Wednesday, I'm going to add a little voice note to you, a little bit of inspiration or wisdom that you can actually respond back to in your own voice, or you can, type back, or you can send an emoji, or just support it in some way. And then as you scroll down, you're going to also see Just One More Bite premium threads. This is where the paid member chat is, and the quarterly mindful lounges where we discuss what the topic is and any follow-up podcast discussions, the practice library, and so forth. So that is basically the grand tour of this community. I'm really proud of it. It took me a pretty long time to create, and I'm really, really excited about you joining and learning more about it. And if you have any questions, you can DM me here. You can DM me on the site as well, the Heartbeat site, or you can always email me at jenny@jennyedencoaching.com. Thank you so much for listening and watching. And I'd love to get to know you better and start connecting with all of you. Thank you so much, and share the link that I'm going to put on the chat as well. So basically, you're just going to go to www.community.jennyedenberk.com. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye.